All right, good afternoon and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Jennifer Myers, Statewide Disaster Recovery Coordinator for the New Mexico Economic Development Department, and you've tuned in to our live stream of our weekly wrap up. We know everybody's very busy, and you probably heard me say this before. It's a great way to get your updates on all the recovery, business, and community resources in under 15 minutes. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube and now on Twitter. So I'll go ahead and get started. We have a special guest today. We have Eric Renz-Whitmore from North Central New Mexico Economic Development District, and he's here to discuss the Working Now Loan Program. So I'll go ahead and transition to Eric. I'll go ahead and show his program, and he can talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, sure thing. So let's see. So first of all, New Mexico, North Central New Mexico Economic Development District. If for folks who aren't necessarily familiar, and I think they might be from having listened to you and seen some of this programming, but it's a council of governments, and basically what we do. So I'll just touch on that briefly, and then I'll talk a little bit about the Working Now program. But we assist local governments with community and economic development projects and initiatives, and support and coordinate regional efforts in our 7+ counties. And those are, just quickly, just in case somebody's listening to this, watching this, and they don't necessarily know if we're one of the ones that serve them. We are work with Colfax County, Los Alamos, Mora, Rio Arriba, San Miguel, Santa Fe, Taos, and parts of Sandoval County. So those coordination efforts include transportation and sometimes water, broadband, and of course, economic development. And we serve as a conduit for coordination with USEDA and oversee the non-metro Agency on Aging, that's AAA, basically New Mexico, all of New Mexico outside of the Bernalillo County area. So in talking with Jennifer earlier, we thought it might be useful to share a little bit of information about our Working Now loan program. And what that is it was developed in response to COVID-19 with funding from the USEDA. However, it's still available to small businesses in our region that are affected by COVID-19. And one handy sort of rule of thumb that I've used and heard from some federal broadcasts is basically the federal government has estimated growth for a business at a standard 4%. Year over year. So basically, if your business is not achieving that 4% growth, that means that you're eligible to at least start the conversation around programs like ours. Just really quickly, our interest rate is 4%. We provide loans of up to $25,000. The term is up to 42 months, and there's no collateral necessary. And I've got a link that we'll share, but basically for uses, that can be payroll, rent, inventory, marketing. There's a lot of different purposes that it can be used for. So I'd encourage folks to check out our webpage. It's basically NCNMEDD, which, as I say, always rolls off the tongue, ncnmedd.com/RLF, because it's a revolving loan fund. And the person here who's most responsible for that fund is, he heads up our community development office, and that's Christopher Madrid. So, but yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about North Central today and about our Working Now Loan Fund.
Thank you so much, Eric. And I just went ahead and put the URL into the chat, so everybody that's listening can just click on that as well. And if you also are looking at our our newsletter, you can just click on here as well. But thanks, Eric, so much. I learned a little bit about it, so I appreciate your time. And I'll go ahead and get started on the top of the webinar. So you're feel free to stay on if you want to listen, or if you need to get going, that's no problem.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. So this is our weekly resource wrap up. Each week I kind of go over what you can expect. We've got our previous newsletters here. We also have pre-recordings. If you want to look at any live stream that I've done in the previous ones, and also any other, if you want to join, if you are not currently get the webinar, the newsletter as well. We have highlighted our freecollegenm.org. If you're interested in learning more, you can click on here, or if you want to support it, it's to help all New Mexicans get a higher education, either part-time or full-time students. And of course, this section, if you're on right now, then you know that we are live streaming as well on YouTube and Facebook. And again, here's some pre-recordings. So we'll go and delve into the recovery resources. Of course, Eric did a fantastic job talking about the Working Now loans, so I won't go into that at all. And on the left-hand side, again, are the economic developments news and initiatives and any events that are coming up. I've mentioned previously that the New Mexico Healthy Foods Financing Fund is looking for a fund manager. And then, of course, if you're interested in learning more about SSBCI, Joanna Nelson just did a great webinar on it, kind of giving you an overview. There's a request for interest that is pertaining to the SSBCI, and she went into a lot of detail, and I'm sure we're going to have a recording of that soon, so I'll make sure to post it in here if you're interested and could not attend. New Mexico Main Street has a lot of stuff going on this week. They have a rural versus presenters that will share. They're working across rural America, and they're the local contents that matters. So if you're interested, you can click on there as well. And then also Felicia DePaula has another rural efficient business program interview coming up this week. It's going to be talking about a manufacturing company about using energy efficiency and cost effectiveness for future plans and sustainability. I can't talk right now. And then also, and I'll talk about this in the highlight, Main Street has a winter conference coming on. And of course, I'll be hosting a business finance fair in the Northeastern region later next week. So if you're a lending institution or a business that's looking for funding in that area, please plan on attending. You just click on here, or you can email me any questions or comments regarding that. So I'll go back up. There's one more program that I wanted to highlight. The EPA has a air quality monitoring for community. They have a program to help promote air quality in partnership with community and government. So that's coming up, fast approaching. It's next week, February 25th is the deadline. And of course, I always like to promote the Small Business Recovery Loan Fund. Eric talked about his fund, and that's for a very specific area, but this Small Business Recovery Loan Fund is for all in New Mexico, and it's a very attractive interest rate, and it's still available. The deadline to submit your application is the 31st. And there's a lot to cover, so I'm just going to gloss over the stuff we kind of covered last time. Of course, we have on the left-hand side, we have articles and links. It talks about, we have a great article about outdoor rec, and then a lot of legislative laws that are coming into place, a procurement law that the Senate has just okayed. We also have some other USDA announcements as well. So Business Resources, the Regional Development Corporation, has opened a fund, a no interest loan up to $20,000 for profit technology and manufacturing businesses headquartered in their area, which is Santa Fe, Riba, Sandoval, Los Alamos, Taos, Mora, San Miguel counties. So you have to participate in the Zoom on March 1st if you're interested in that, and the deadline for that's March 15th. We have a Route 66 preservation program. This is dedicated to preserving the special area, in the course around that corridor, the historic highway. The eligibility is right here, and that deadline is April 25th. And I talked about this last time, and this will be our guest speaker for next time. New Mexico Taxation and Revenue Department have 2 tools to help you with gross receipts tax. So we'll be talking about that next Monday at the same time. But if you would like to learn more beforehand, just click on this link provided. And of course, we have now our highlight for this week is Main Street has their virtual winter conference that's happening the 23rd and the 24th. It's all virtual, and they're going to have jam-packed with speakers and presenters, all focused around supporting businesses and entrepreneurs in your Main Strip and Art and Cultural Center. So if you want to register, click on here, or you can visit us on our website as well. Now, I'm kind of going very fast because we have a lot of new community resources. There's a scholarship coming. The Albuquerque Community Foundation has a scholarship for high schoolers that are open, so you can just click on here to apply. AARP has a community challenge, so it's a grant for $15,000 or less, and that's to help improve public spaces, housing, transportation, and civic engagement. And this is to help, of course, if it's AARP, there's the ideas are to support people with age 50 or older. So that deadline is coming up March 22nd. We have another conservation or outdoor recreation community assistance program. So the National Park Service is seeking applications for technical assistance for conservation of outdoor recreation projects. So that deadline is March 1st. We also have Save America's Treasures grant program. Now, this is providing preservation and conservation for projects' national significant historic properties. So again, and collections. So what do they define as collections? Artifacts, museum collections, documents, sculptures, and works of art. So if any of that's applicable to you, just click on the link provided, and that deadline is March 10th. We also have another grant opportunity. This program is designed to provide technical assistance and training for rural businesses with fewer than 50 employees and that are making less than $1 million. So that's a big range. And that deadline is April 14th. We have a First Responders Grant Recovery Act grant program. And this provides resources to first responders and members of key sectors at state, tribal, and other governments to train and administer the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. So if that's applicable to you, that's April 5th is the deadline. HUD has a new grant program. These grants are to replace distressed public assisted housing and improve outcomes related to employment, income, health, and children's education. So that deadline is next week, February 15th. There's also a new program to help with homeless veterans. The intent of the program is to obtain high-quality career outcomes for veterans experiencing homelessness. So they're looking at some key strategies to help with to help get the hard-to-reach population, and that deadline is March 2nd. The U Cross Residency Program is open to a wide variety of artists, writers, composers, and not only can be mature, but also emerging artists are welcome to apply. So that program launches, deadline March 1st. The Bureau of Land Management has a new program as well. It's established partnership with collaborating and encouraging publics to learn about and engage resources with the goal of building meaningful conservation stewardship legacy. So that is happening. That deadline is April 7th. And I think we're finally at the last one. I'm trying to look at the time. The National Urban and Community Grant Program is in partnership to restore, sustain, and manage more than 140 million acres of urban and community forest lands. So that program, the deadline is April 8th as well. And a lot of these different programs we talked about last time. So if you are interested, just click on the link or look at the previous recording. And of course, we always keep it in case you missed it, in case one of these other programs that you wanted to look back. Once again, we have quite a few webinars and events coming up. There's Manufacturing Day at the US 550 corridor and beyond. So just click on the Zoom link provided if you're interested. There's a lot of different things created. It's like business, helping with businesses to keep them healthy, economic development products, and also focus on economic development in rural areas. We also have a government certification that's coming up on February 22nd to strengthen business recovery. And then using video to promote your business as well. So if you want to leverage a different way of promoting your business, this is a good way to do it. And I'm not going to go through each one of them, but they have a lot of different things that are available that are coming up. And then an IRS training for small businesses since it's tax season already. We also have our ongoing webinars and webinars on demand, of course. And then we have any recently recorded ones that we have linked here as well. So with that, I have, of course, you always can go on our website or click on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube to connect. So with that, I'll go ahead and let you have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.